Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. Just wanted to make this video a little like a rant piece, I would say, about the new news of Xbox shutting down 4 new, well, I guess new to them, game studios, 4 game studios across Bethesda. We don't know if there may be more across. Let me just turn down this a bit. We don't know if there's going to be more across Activision. I doubt there's going to be any across Xbox game studios themselves. Before we get into this, the video in the background is from a recent live stream on my Geoconplays channel, which I'll link down in the description if you want to come over. Get some live streams. We'll probably be live streaming Cold War soon, getting through the Easter eggs and all that. So if you're interested in watching that, we'll definitely be live streaming Golf when that comes out. Can't wait. And I will be live streaming the reaction to the Xbox showcase. Now, let me get into it. So they have shut down Tango Gameworks. Let me get this up for you. This will all be in a fluid motion. Hopefully, no edit in this video. Because it'll be easy for me, and I just don't want to edit this. Not gonna lie. So, let me switch here for you. So, Microsoft has closed a number of Bethesda studios, not game studios. Anyway, including Redfall maker or Arcane Austin, Hi-Fi Rush and Evil Within developer Tango Gameworks, and more in devastating cuts at Bethesda, IGN can confirm. Alpha Dog Games, maker of mobile game Mighty Doom, will also close. Roundhouse Studios will be absorbed by the Elder Scrolls Online developer on ZeniMax Online Studios. Microsoft, currently valued at over $3 trillion, which I don't know why that needs to be put in this. I'm not saying that they don't have money, but also at the same time, what the value of Microsoft is doesn't have anything to do with Xbox, realistically. I don't know. There you go. Okay, so let's go back here. So, did not say how many staff will lose their jobs, but significant layoffs are inevitable, obviously, closing down the studio. IGN has asked Bethesda for a comment. Microsoft declined to expand further when contacted by IGN. On Redfall, the disastrous vampire co-op game will now not receive promised updates, including an online mode and new character DLC. As Microsoft has ended development on the game, Microsoft has said Redfall will remain online to play and will provide a make good offer for those who bought the Hero DLC. So basically what they're saying, layman's terms, they're going to pay you back. They're going to refund you, a make good offer could technically say that they're going to give you something of the value of that. So they could technically give you a Microsoft coupon that's like $70, I don't know how much, $100 or pounds or whatever it was. But this is what Arcane had to say. Today it was announced that Arcane Austin will close and development will not continue in Redfall. Today, to everyone that has supported the work from I'm having a stroke apparently, our Austin studio over the years, thank you. Thank you for spending time in our worlds and making them your own. Arcane Leon will continue their focus on immersive experiences where they are hard at work on their upcoming project. Obviously, Blade, they are working on that. They've just started development end of last year. Redfall players who purchased the Hero Pass as part of the Premium Buyback Edition or the Premium Buyback Upgrade, okay, don't know why I was having a stroke while I was saying it twice, but upgrade, okay, will be eligible to receive the value of the upgrade. So they're saying they're going to only give back the premium value instead of the whole game, is what I'm guessing they mean. So like, if the game, I don't know how much the game was when it released. I'm guessing it was 70 when it released, and then let's say it's 100 for the premium, they'll give back 30. I'm guessing that's what I mean. They mean in that, because they'll be like, we gave you the game already, but we just didn't give you the premium part of the game. I'm guessing that's what they're gonna do. Maybe I'm wrong. Not a lawyer. Don't know law. Anyway, while there will be no further updates, Redfall servers will remain online for players to enjoy. Depends how long they'll remain online, because realistically, I don't know how long it can really stay online for with how many players it has. It barely has any players. Arcane Leon, which is working on Marvel's Blade, like I said, survives the call as, I mean, yeah, when I'll talk about it after. I mean, it makes so much sense that Arcane Leon survives the call. When you think about it, I'll explain it after this. As does Bethesda's game studio, obviously, and Machine Gate, obviously. Doom developer id Software is also ineffective, obviously. Like, Arcane Leon makes sense because they were always the stronger performing out of the two Arcanes. Arcane Leon releasing Dishonored 2, because I think Dishonored 1 was worked on by Austin and Leon. And then, so Dishonored 2, and then Deathloop. I don't know how Dishonored 2 performed, but we know definitely that that Deathloop performed pretty good, and it was an exclusive PlayStation title at the time. So that probably got funding from there. Obviously, Bethesda Game Studios, why wouldn't they keep that open? That would be... Wow, this I think is a stupid idea. If you got rid of the Skyrim, the Fallout studio, one, it's a moneymaker. Whatever you want to say about Starfield, it made money, it made bank. They would be absolutely stupid to close that down. Machine Games, again, another, I don't know how well their last game, which it was a Wolfenstein game, I'm pretty sure, of Youngblood, which I don't think was received. I don't know how it performed, but I don't think it was received well ratings wise. I don't know how it performed though, because Starfield wasn't. I mean, Starfield got rated critically pretty well. Fans didn't get rated that well, but yeah. And obviously they're gonna allow them to release Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, because that's like Xbox's massive game this year. Obviously Hellblade, and then you have Avowed, but yeah. And then Doom, that performs. That studio is performing. That's like, doesn't make sense to get rid of them, you know. But just turn it down a bit. This reprioritization of titles and resources means a few teams will be realigned to others, and that some of our colleagues will be leaving us. Well, okay, cheers, my brother. I could have told you that one. So they're not. I mean, from what I'm getting, is that most likely, let's say if there was a Prey 2, which I don't think there would be ever, because it just didn't perform financially, it would be made within Lyon, like another team in Lyon. I mean, at some point you may as well just call Arcane Leon. Yes, just Leon. Arcane. Oh god, are we gonna go through this whole thing? I don't even know how long I've been recording already. Nearly 10 minutes or so. We can. In an email to staff sent by Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, Microsoft blamed the cuts on reprioritization of titles and resources. The email verified by IGN is below. Today I'm sharing. I just can't. It's too hot in my room. Today I'm sharing changes we are making to our Bethesda and ZeniMax teams. These changes are grounded in prioritizing high-impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds which you have nurtured over many decades. That sounds like them going, we want big games, big titles, AAA titles, and we want more Fallout titles. Fallout, obviously, not saying they want Fallout titles, but we want more Fallout titles. We want more Doom titles. We want Wolfenstein, kind of pretty high on impact, but kind of like that kind of thing instead of Hi-Fi Rush. We don't want that. We don't want Redfall. But I'm pretty sure I've heard somewhere that this. Yeah, okay, we'll get back to that. To double down on these franchises and invest to build new ones requires us to look across the business to identify the opportunities that are best positioned for success. This reprioritization of titles and resources means a few teams will be realigned to others, and that some of our colleagues will be leaving us. That was already quoted. Here are the changes going into effect. Arcane Austin. This studio will close, with some members of the team joining other studios to work on projects across Bethesda, which you would expect to Arcane Lyon. I mean, there's probably studios close to Austin in Bethesda's portfolio of studios, but if you talk about like Arcane's type of games, you'd think they'd go to Lyon, right? But I mean, 70% of Austin's developers that were good with immersive sim games left during Redfall's development, which is another reason why I think this was actually kind of expected for Lyon. Oh my god, Austin. Keep getting them mixed up, but it's not like I get mixed up what they develop. It's just I keep mixing up the names, even though I know which one's which. Arcane Austin has a history of making impactful and innovative games, and it is a pedigree that everyone should be proud of. Redfall's previous update will be I like how it's like, and its pedigree that everyone should be proud of. Redfall's, you can't follow that up though. With saying that though, I mean obviously Redfall wasn't really Austin's fault. It was ZeniMax's old heads, which I'll stand by. It was never Austin's fault. And they were forced to make a game that they shouldn't have been, but you know, at the end of the day, it's a game that was made, and in my opinion, was their downfall to where we are now. Redfall's previous update will be its last as we end development on the game. The game and its servers will remain online for now for players to enjoy, and we will provide make-good offers to players who purchase the Hero DLC, obviously. Alpha Dog Studios. They're the mobile game studios. Alpha Dog Studios. This studio will also, just making sure, will also close. We appreciate the team's creativity in bringing Doom to new players. Mighty Doom will be sunset on August 7th, and we will be turning off the ability for players to make any purchases in the game. I don't know, I'm guessing you can still download. What, really? I mean, the game must have just not done well. The game just must have not done well for them to go out their way and say, yeah, we're not even allowing you to make any purchases. Which, wow. It's a mobile game. I thought it would have done pretty alright. It must have done alright. Wow, okay. Now this one, which is this is one of the most surprising out of this. Tango Gameworks, the thing is, I can see most people's explanations too, but it still makes no sense to me. Tango Gameworks will also close. We are thankful for their contributions to Bethesda and players around the world. Hi-Fi Rush will continue to be available to players on the platforms it is today. Makes no sense to me. I don't know how the studio that literally makes no sense in this has the smallest portion. Because I don't care what anyone. I get that they probably didn't make much money. Apparently, Evil Within didn't actually sell that well as a series. It sold probably alright, but not like groundbreaking. Hi-Fi Rush apparently performed not great financially, like actually just bad. Which again, I just don't how you put that on Hi-Fi Rush to me is wild, because you dropped it. You shadow dropped it. So you're telling me you shadow dropping this, you expected it to do financially well, and apparently it didn't even do well on Game Pass, but again, you didn't market it. So it's kind of like, don't talk to me about numbers when you're not marketing for those numbers. You get me? Xbox isn't good at marketing anyway. So, you know, if you were like master marketers and it still didn't do well, then I'd be like, okay, fair enough. Now, if we're talking about Xbox again, the main thing that Xbox have been trying to do this generation by paying Sega to bring loads of like Yakuza game and then Atlas to bring over Persona games to Xbox is they're trying to break into the Japanese market. Do you know, I think Activision has a Japanese studio, but not like this type of studio. Do you know that the Japanese studios that Xbox owns? Tango Gameworks. It's the only one they own. The one studio that could have helped them crack that market. I don't think it would have helped them crack the market, but I think it would have helped them in the market, if you know what I'm trying to say. And they closed it down. I don't know how you can really defend that one. The Austin one, I can see Arcane Austin because the game's never performed financially. Redfall, whilst that's been developed, or a good chunk of their staff left, it's like 70%. So that one made sense to me. I could see this coming. I don't think it was gonna be this fast. I thought they would have given one more chance, and in my opinion, I don't think that chance would have been enough because I don't think their games sell well in the first place. I think they would have been shuttered anyway. Alpha Dog Studios, mobile game company, would have thought that they would have done well financially because mobile games, apparently not. Tango Gameworks? Really? A Japanese studio pedigree that makes big games that fans obviously want, and it's doesn't matter how much money they make. PR wise, disaster. This is the PR for this is worth way more than what it would have been taking the impact of their games maybe making a loss, which I don't think their games would have ever. I don't think their games make a loss. You don't make a Evil Within 1 and then 2. If they make a loss, they may not make much profit, but they don't make a loss. And you have to be expecting to take hits on losses when you've got Game Pass. That you can't have Game Pass and not expect to take a hit on a loss at some point, which Hi-Fi Rush was, and you can't expect to not take a hit on Hi-Fi Rush if you're gonna shadow drop it and not promote it. I don't want to hear anything about that. But let's just continue. Roundhouse Games and the team at Roundhouse Games will be joining ZeniMax Online Studios, ZOS. Roundhouse has played a key role in many of their recent launches, and bringing them into ZOS to work on the Elder Scrolls Online will mean we can do even more to grow the world that millions of players call home. I've got no issue with this really. I think my main issue is that you're taking the identity away from the team, with then just calling them ZeniMax Online Studios, instead of Roundhouse, which taking identity away from a team can just be really destructive in my opinion. But that's not me. I'm not people working there. If it stays open and they keep their jobs, I'm really fine with it. And also, if they've already been working pretty closely with the Elder Scrolls Online, it's like, eh. So I don't really have much to say about that one, except from I'm guessing this probably means that ZeniMax Online Studios is going to be releasing a game somewhat soon. That's been rumoured for a while. It supposedly was a Mandalorian game. I don't think it's going to be that, because there's been about 10 rumoured Mandalorian games and then they all get debunked. So I doubt that's going to be happening. But yeah. With this consolidation of our Bethesda studio teams, so that we can invest more deeply in our portfolio of games and new IP, a small number of roles across select Bethesda publishing and corporate teams will also be eliminated. Now, this makes sense because Bethesda publishing makes sense because you now have Activision and Xbox. No, wait, I don't think the Activision publishing exists anymore. I think that was gone. It's good. Or Chunk was gutted out of it. Either way, what I'm saying is that you have the Xbox publishing arm. You would have 3 publishing arms across the company, which makes no sense. So that one makes sense to me. And then corporate teams will also be eliminated. Okay, I don't have really any issue with that. But new IP, but then up here it sounds like they're talking about they want these changes are grounded in prioritizing high impact titles and further investment in Bethesda's portfolio. So further investment in IP that we currently own. Like, let's say if they want a new Fallout game made by a different dev. I don't know, it doesn't. Anyway. Those whose roles will be impacted will be notified today. Okay. And we ask that you please treat your departing colleagues with respect and compassion. We will provide our full support to those who are impacted in today's notifications and through their transitions, including severance benefits informed by local laws. That's just legal speak, basically. Will now can that helicopter go away, big man? I just want to have my window open without being hot. You get me? Yeah, I mean that's jargon that we don't really care about realistically. I mean, yeah. These changes are not a reflection of the creativity and skill of the talented individuals at these teams or risk that they take. I acknowledge that these changes are also disruptive to various support teams across ZeniMax and Bethesda that we bring our games to market. We are making these tough decisions to create a capacity to increase investment in our parts of our studio and focus on our product. Bethesda remains one of the key pillars. Why wouldn't they be? Key pillars of Xbox with a strong portfolio of amazing games and thriving communities as we look to the future. There is an impressive lineup of games on the horizon. In 2024, we have. My brain is not working right now. We have Starfield Shattered Space, Fallout 76 Skyline Valley, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and The Elder Scrolls Online Golden Road. As we align our plans and resources to set ourselves up for success in this complex and changing industry, our teams across Arcane Leon, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, Machine Games, ZeniMax Online, and Bethesda Publishing, and corporate teams will be well positioned to build new IP and explore new game concepts and expand our existing franchises. Yeah, I don't know. Again, Bethesda looks like it's gonna have a very strong year. Financially, most likely, and just game-wise. I just don't think Tango was the one. I think I kind of somewhat see the other 3. It's Roundhouse Games I see, Alpha Dog Studios I 100% see if it didn't perform well, and Arcane Austin I see 89%. Tango does not make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. Even if it's financial, I just feel like all their games are set up to fail. Cuts, yeah, after Freema, what for us? Amid a boom time for Bethesda's Fallout series following the breaking, doesn't really matter when we're talking about the studio. The closure of Tango Gameworks hits just a year after the launch of Hi-Fi Rush, what many considered to be one of the best Xbox games of recent years. Yes, 100%. At least 100% this generation, it was, in my opinion, Xbox's best original IP and just game across the board when you're thinking about Xbox games. I mean, this generation of Halo Infinite, which I think is a great game, launched flawed, but it was a good game even at launch, just a flawed launch with content not being there, and it was kind of, needed content, which we're there now, they're listening. They've gutted the studio corporately, and we're slowly getting to a place where we're like, Halo is strong again, and the next release could be promising. Forza Horizon 5 is up there. I could interchange that with Hi-Fi Rush, but yeah. I mean, it's Forza, so it's like we always know what that's gonna be. It's gonna be a strong game. Starfield. Look, I would say Starfield's like a 7. Could go up to an 8 with the recent updates. They're 8.5. That's coming out. I definitely wouldn't say it's the best Xbox game that's come out. No. I just realised that I have music, but I'm just gonna leave off now. What I'm trying to think of games that they've released. Pentiment, good, great game. Realistically, still think Hi-Fi Rush is above it, but it's a great game. Grounded, that come out before or after? Either way, I'd still have Hi-Fi Rush above that. I just don't think. I generally think it's literally the best Xbox game this generation. And I don't know how you could do that to the studio. It just doesn't make sense to me. Tweeting in April 2023, Aaron Greenberg, which apparently, I don't know what this man does. Apparently he's been there for years. And evidently, he's chatting. Because I've seen these tweets. Let's just continue reading. Xbox games marketing. Games marketing. Yeah, the marketing for Xbox has been great. I swear to God. I'm sorry, but you barely see Xbox talked about anywhere or adverts. Like Starfield, it was decently advertised, but I still feel like it was under advertised in Europe. But anyway. Addressed concern that Hi-Fi Rush has failed to meet sales targets, calling the game a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. Don't know what that means. Key measurements and expectations. What are the measurements and what are the expectations? Greenberg continued, we couldn't be happier with the team at Tango Gameworks. With what the team at Tango... We couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango Gameworks delivered with this surprise release. Hi-Fi Rush launched on PS5 as part of Microsoft's new multi-platform push in March. Same thing. Doesn't matter. They're releasing it anyway. Yeah, you just put it surprise release. That's the reason it didn't do well. And apparently it just didn't do so well that you put it on PlayStation. Your best game this generation, you put it on PlayStation. Imagine, I don't know, what would you say PlayStation's best releases this generation? I've got a PS5, but I play like Spider-Man, I just don't, no, I don't really care about the rest. But this generation, best game? I'm trying to think, like, best game. You could say Last of Us, but it's like, Spider-Man 2. I can't think of PlayStation games right now. Let's just say Spider-Man 2. Imagine PlayStation putting Spider-Man 2 on Xbox a year after it released. It's a wild idea, in my opinion. And that just tells me that they just did do well financially, in my opinion. But at the same time, PlayStation is a bigger platform, so they don't really have to worry about that. But that tells me that Hi-Fi Rush didn't do well financially, and that's the reason. So yeah, today it was announced that Tango Gameworks will close. Thank you to everyone that explored the worlds we created. Hi-Fi Rush, along with Tango's previous titles, will remain available and playable everywhere they are today. Yeah. In a series of tweets, Arcane Leon chief Dinga Akaba, yeah, I think that's how you say it. This was the guy that was at the Blade reveal. My guy. This guy speaks facts, just straight facts all the time. When it comes to games development, I swear to God. I've seen his tweets and just facts. Hates out cuts calling them absolutely terrible. To any executive reading this, friendly reminder that video games are an entertainment/cultural industry. And your business as a corporation is to take care of your artists/entertainers and help them create value for you. Dingo continue. Don't throw us into gold fever gambits. Don't use us as straw men for miscalculations/blind spots. Don't make our work environment Darwinish jungles. You say we make you proud and we make a good game. Make us proud when times are tough. We know you can. We've seen it before. For now, great teams are sunsetting before our eyes again, and it's effing gutting. It's an effing gut stab. Leon is safe, but please be tactful and discerning about all this, and respect affected folks' voice, and leave it to the room to be heard. It's their story to tell, their feelings to express. This man is actually just spitting. He's spitting. He's going off. He's spitting. You can't get any more facts than this. Like a machine. Fax machine. Telling you. Inside baseball. Huh? Inside baseball, but if I read immersive sim curse from the community, especially from a fellow dev, I swear to God, please let's talk about the real challenges instead of rehashing irrational anxieties of the past. This man couldn't spit any harder if he wanted to. He could. He's weighing up the wall. Even more inside baseball. What does that even mean? Is that like a saying, like a French thing or something? Even more inside baseball, but with a very, very wide range. As a wise and solely missed man said, please stop. Layoffs are sweeping the video game industry with a number of high-profile studios cutting staff or shutting down. In stark contrast to a year of blockbuster video game hits, one of the biggest ongoing industry trends in 2023 was the prevalence of mass layoffs, and they have continued into 2024. While actual figures are difficult to obtain, estimates suggest that a number of workers laid off in the games last year approached or exceeded 10k. A recent GDC survey of developers suggests 1/3 of all game developers were impacted by layoffs last year, either directly or by witnessing them happen at their company. And that's the end of the article. Now, it'll be basically the end of the video. But I want to say is, look, layoffs were always going to happen. I don't think they should ever be this many at all. But at the same time, they're making record profits. So there's evidently somewhere you're spending money, executives, that needs to be pulled down for you to not be needing to lay off these people. Now, Dinger spat massive facts here. All correct. Tango never needed to be sunset at all. Like, they made quality games, and I completely forgot there was Ghostwire Tokyo. Don't know if that did well. I know it's an exclusive game, so it probably had most of its development. Probably. What's the word that I'm looking for? Financially forgiven. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it probably had most of its development paid for. Let's just go with that. It's just wild to me that this can happen to a studio so high profile and a studio that you could probably say its only misstep was Ghostwire Tokyo, and even still it's an alright game. It's good. it's not like the worst game in the world.
Not saying that you don't play.
And then the next game that came out was one of the best in the year, and in my opinion should have been at least nominated for Game of the Year. It's crazy how fast life can hit you.
I don't mind that.
Now,
It's fine. It's just you can be like, oh yeah, not on today.
again, Arcane Austin makes kind of some sense to me. Don't think it should have happened at all. It makes no sense that they didn't give him another chance, but it kind of makes sense to me because when just the first whole Redfall thing happened and then reports were coming out, it just felt like the studio's soul was gone at that point. The 70% of people left. The corporates wanted them to make Redfall, and they had to update that. Now they had to make DLC for it, and the next game they would have released would have been in like 4 or 5 years, and I just don't know. And then the mobile games one, don't know properly about that one and how much money that made. And I'm guessing they probably did it because Activision has a mobile division, if I'm correct. This is the issue. I'll go over that in a minute. And then the Roundhouse one, they took away their basically their what's the word I'm looking for? They took away their autonomy, and then turned them into a support studio basically, which isn't the worst because I don't think they're really shutting them down. They're basically just absorbing them into ZeniMax so that it would still exist. It's just that they're, shutting down the name, I think, if that's what they're explaining. So it's not the worst out of all of them. And if they're already basically a Elder Scrolls online support studio anyways, it makes sense to me. But this is evidently because of Activision. This never should have happened in the first place. I think people are going to be like this. They should have never been allowed to buy Activision. See. I would not agree. I'm going to put my hands up here and say I would not agree. Whatever you want to think about this situation, Activision is better off for it. Whatever you want to think. Because, Bobby Kotick, bro. That's all you need to know is Bobby Backdoor Kotick. That man never needs to step near a studio again. And if you're saying that Bobby Kotick should have kept Activision, and that Activision would have never... If you're saying that Activision would have never laid off people with Bobby Kotick, and that Bobby Kotick should have continued getting his, $200, $300, how many $1 million a month, then you're crazy. Insanity. But no one's saying this isn't bad. I'm just saying it could be worse. You're stabbed in the leg. In both legs. Not hitting an artery. You're stabbed. It's not good. But you're not stabbed in the neck. The Tango stuff, they're stabbed in the neck. But I'm talking about Activision. Realistically, Activision's got out pretty decent with this. Blizzard seems more separate. They're hopefully cleaning up the culture that was there. And that's realistically all I wanted from Activision, is that they cleaned up the culture. Hopefully, maybe, doubt it, they allow COD to be released a bit more sparingly. Even if it's a split by 2 years for a COD release, and then a COD's release, 2 years COD release, Now with Bethesda, again, I always thought that publishing arms would be laid off, quality assurance would be laid off, all that, because that makes sense to me. That's redundancies. Didn't think Tango would be shut down. That one's actually really surprising. It's really surprising. Anyway, I'm gonna keep ranting about this if I keep talking, so I'm just gonna stop it there. Hopefully that was all Gucci. And, hopefully there's no audio issues in this. I'll see you in the next video. If you want to watch my live streams at some point, or just me going through and playing series like Starfield, I need to upload my other videos on Starfield. I need to edit them. But yeah, this is my first type of video on this channel, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you
I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
next time at some point. And yeah,
Team apparently has everything, but you know.
I don't know if I should upload this on my main channel now, on my Geoconplays, or what. Thinking about doing it.
But you know.
But yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you next time, and peace. BS.